Unit 6, Learning Target Number 9. Read and create box and whisker plots. In this section, we're going to start talking about plots or charts or diagrams or whatever you want to call them. And what they are is ways to visualize data, ways to see data that helps us understand what's going on. Today, we're going to start off with box plots or box and whisker plots. We're starting with this because we just finished talking about the interquartile range. And box and whisker plots were designed to show us the interquartile range in a way that we could see it. Here's our little cat off to the side, looking all devious. I really need to see that data as a box and whisker plot. Yes, because cats have anyways. All right, so first let's talk about what is being shown in this box and whisker plot. If you notice, we've got our little whiskers here off to the side. Right here, we've got whiskers on either side, and we've got our box in the center. And in the middle of that box, there's this line, right? So that's kind of the makeup of our box and whisker plot. Now, the ends tell us the end of the data. These tell us the lower extreme over here, the lower extreme on this end, and on the other end, the upper extreme. And what these represent are the highest and lowest data items. So the upper extreme is the largest or the greatest number of data items that we have, the largest data item that we have. And then the lower extreme is the least or the smallest. In this case, we would say the upper extreme, the highest, largest piece of data that we had was 82. We're going to round that and make sure that that's 82. It's kind of in between there. We're just going to choose the closest one. On the other end, the lower extreme is right around 10. So the lower extreme is 10. Now, if you'll remember, if we were calculating the range or the total amount of distance from this lower extreme to this upper extreme, we would just subtract the two. To get the range, we would subtract 82 minus 10, and that would give us 72. That would be the range of this data. So we can already see how this can help us. Then we're going to find on this chart the median. And the median was the middle of the data. And this little bar right here is our median. The median. So our median right here, we're going to say that is 42, 44, 46. The median is equal to 46. And then we need to see our quartiles. And remember that we can think of the median as quartile number 2. We are looking for quartile 1. Well, the end of this box here is quartile 1. So we'll mark that as quartile 1. And the end of the box on this side is quartile 3. So we have quartile 3 right there. Quartile 1 then would be roughly 22. And quartile 3 then would be roughly 52, 54, 56, 58. Quartile 3 is 58. Now, the interquartile range, if you remember, was the distance between quartile 3 and quartile 1. So if we subtract those two, and that's not a very good 8. If we subtract quartile 3, subtract quartile 1 from it, then we get the IQR, the interquartile range. And in this case, that's going to be 58 minus 22, and that's going to be 8 minus 2 is 6, 2 minus 5 is 3. The interquartile range is going to be 36. And we can see that graphically right here. Here's quartile number 1, here's quartile number 3, and here's all that data that is between there. This is our interquartile range right here shown to us. And that tells us the most important segment of the data. Now let's take a quick look at creating a box and whisker plot. We talked about what they look like, so now we're going to talk about how we can create them. The first step in creating a box and whisker plot is exactly what we do when we're finding the median, or the quartile 1 and quartile 2. And that is to put our data items here, to put those in order. Now, I have been kind enough here to put all of these in order for you, but many times they won't be, and you'll have to take the time to put them in order. After you've got them in order, then you have to identify the different parts of your interquartile range. So the first thing we're going to do is identify our upper and our lower extremes. Since they've been put in order already, that's very easy. I just look at the smallest one, which is 62. That's my lower extreme. And then I look up here at my highest one, and that is my upper extreme. And we know where those are. We can even plot these on our graph if we want to. 62 would be our lower extreme, so we'll put that there. That's our lower extreme. And our upper extreme is 94. So we'll put that right there. That's our upper extreme. Then we can move on to our median. Our median is right in the middle. And since we have an odd number of data items, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 data items. All we have to do is find the middle one. So let's tick these off until we find the middle one here. We can do 94, and matches with 63 and 81, 64 and 81, 64 and 77, 70 and 76. That leaves us here in the middle with our median, or our quartile 2 if you want to remember it that way. Our median here is 72. So we can plot that as well. We can put our median right there, and we'll say that's our median. Now we do our quartiles. Remember that our quartiles, our first quartile, for example, is the median of all of these on the left. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll take the middle one because it is the median of the numbers on this side, and that is quartile 1. On this side, we also have 5 items, naturally, and then we'll make this quartile 3. So let's plot those. Quartile 1 was 64. That's going to go right there. So we'll mark that as Q1. And then Q3 over here is going to be at 81. It's going to be roughly in the middle there. So we'll make that Q3. And then all we have to do is draw our number line. Now I have already put a number line here for us. You would have to draw your own. Then we plot the values. So we've already got them there. We're just going to show them as they would be on a graph. So here is our end of our whisker for our lower extreme and the end of our whisker for our upper extreme. Then Q1 is the beginning of our box, right? Q1, and the box goes between Q1 and Q3. So here's Q3. We'll mark the box right there. We'll draw our lines. It's not going to be a beautiful box, but it'll be workable. And then our median, there's a line there for the median. We just put our line right there for our median. And then all that's left is to connect the whiskers. We connect our whiskers to the box, and there is our box and whisker chart for this data. Now you can do it and practice on your own.